Hello everyone! So it is officially award show season, and today I'm going to be talking about MAMA's 2025 Day 1, including the winners and the performances. Now, this year's MAMA's was slightly different due to the tragedy that happened in Hong Kong. My condolences and my thoughts and prayers go out to everyone that was affected by those fires. Very heartbreaking. And so because of that, they had to adjust the protocol and certain things during the award show. So there was no red carpet, and any pyro or fire elements in the performances was eliminated. And also some of the groups and artists, they adjusted their lyrics as well to be respectful of what has happened. And throughout the night, the presenters and the artists, they were respectful of what has happened. So with all that being said, let's start with none other than the host himself, Park Bo-gum. He was the host for day 1, and I think he did a splendid job. I absolutely love how he was styled. He looked so elegant, and I absolutely loved it. I think he did a good job in hosting the show. And the theme for this year was Tiger, and I loved the theme for this year. I think the graphics that they used for the tiger was really cool. However, because the theme was Tiger, I wish Hoshi from 17 and Becco from Newest, I wish they could have been involved in this, but obviously Hoshi is in the military. But anyway, I wish those two would have been part of this, or at least like wait until they were available to be part of Mama's to do this theme. But I mean, yeah. But that's just me. So if you see me looking to the side, it's because I have my notes opened because I took a lot of notes throughout the night. Well, it was nighttime in Korea. It was morning, late night, early morning for me. So the opening performance was from Bumsup, the dance crew. I think this was a fabulous way of opening the award show. It went perfectly well with the theme, and I love how they really showcased the Korean culture and wearing the hanboks and the dances, the music, everything was splendid. I highly recommend you guys check out their performance. I think it was wonderful, very well done. One of my favorite openings for an award show. And after their performance, Park Bo-gum said something that I totally agree with. He explained the performance like watching a traditional painting come to life, and that is the best way to describe this performance. So the first award of the night was for Fans' Choice. Now there are 10 winners for the Fans' Choice Award. So this is obviously Fans' Choice is a fan voted award. Yeah, the first award of the night went to none other than Enhypen, and I have to say they were styled so amazingly. They were wearing suits, and the suits had metallic elements in it, like metal plates or something. It looked exquisite. And also the gloves. Jay was wearing gloves. I loved all the outfits from the members, and also how their hair was styled. They looked so good. And honestly, I think day 1 of Mama's belonged to Enhypen. I absolutely loved how they were styled. Congratulations on them for getting the first award of the night, and we'll be talking about their performance in a little bit. So the second Fan Choice Award for the night went to RIIZE, and they didn't perform in day 1 of Mama's, but I believe they're performing in day 2. But seeing RIIZE made me so happy, and I look forward to their performance. The next performance of the night was a collaboration stage between Hearts2Hearts and NCT WISH. I was looking forward to this because if you know me, I love a good collab. Even though I don't really listen to Hearts2Hearts music, I have been getting into NCT WISH's music. But regardless, I was looking forward to this. I couldn't wait to see what their whole concept was going to be about. So Hearts2Hearts performed first, and before the performance, Shindong made an appearance. Shindong from Super Junior, and I thought that was so special. And I mean, considering Hearts2Hearts is the newest group in SM, and Super Junior, they are celebrating their 20th anniversary, but I just thought that was so sweet, and I was happy that he was part of it. But anyway, Hearts2Hearts, their concept was students in a classroom, and they performed their song Focus Mama version, and I think the choreography was great. I think the members did a really great job. I think this concept works well with them because they are a very youthful group. So then NCT WISH comes out, and they kind of have a collab dance performance. They incorporated the school desks into the choreography, which I thought that was very cool. I was hoping to see more partner work with Hearts2Hearts and NCT WISH. And then afterwards, NCT WISH, they performed their song Color. And I really enjoy the song Color because it is such a fun, bright song. Absolutely loved the dance break in the beginning. And overall, I think this collab stage was good, but I wanted to see more collab. I don't know. I was hoping that maybe they would like mash up their songs together, so it would be an actual collaboration stage rather than it's my turn. Okay, now it's your turn. We go our separate ways. Maybe in the future they'll do more collab stages and they will do something like Zoo when SM Town released Zoo, the members singing and dancing together rather than having separate performances. You get me? Next up for Fans Choice, which at this point I realize it's Fans Choice Female Top 10. So I think they give the award to 10 female groups and artists and then 10 male groups and artists. So they're kind of separate. So in total, I think there's like 20 Fans Choice awards given out in Mamas. But anyway, that award went to BABYMONSTER, and then right after that, they announced the Favorite Global Performance Award, and it went to IVE. Now, to me, I think IVE has had such a solid year. I have enjoyed the songs that they have released this year, and we'll be talking about their performance in a little bit. I can't wait to share my thoughts on that. Next up, Fans Choice Male Top 10. And it went to none other than Stray Kids. So Sriracha, they received the award on behalf of the members, Han, Bangchan, and Changmin. I thought their speech was absolutely wonderful, and I look forward to their performance in day 2 of Mamas. The next performance was another collab stage, and this time it was with Meow and TXT. In the beginning of their performance, they kind of like toss a coin to see who would perform first, either Meow or TXT, and then it went to TXT. So they started off with a solo dance performance, which I thought it was fantastic. And then the whole opening intro was rock, and then suddenly it transitioned to a bright, fun song. So I thought that contrast was a little bit interesting for me, but I do enjoy how they were able to portray the song and just the bright, fun vibes that the song that they performed had. And then next up, it was Meow. Now, mind you, again, these things shouldn't be called collab stages if there's very minimal interaction or performance with both groups at the same time. Again, I look forward to collab stages. I absolutely love it. But when it's like one group performs first, maybe a minor slight interaction, and then it's just another group performs completely separate, it's like, this isn't a collaboration. This is a tag team. So Meow went up to perform and they brought the energy. Their performance was so fun. I mean, Meow has really fun songs. So the first song that they performed was Turn It Up. They changed the lyrics to be respectful of the situation going on in Hong Kong. And I thought their performance was fantastic. And then they performed Hands Up. Hands Up is one of my favorite songs. It is such a party song. And if you guys know me, I love a good party song. This song was perfect for an award show. They brought the party. Their vocals were fantastic. And then in some moments of their performance, they did show a live band playing, which I didn't know that they had a live band, but I absolutely love how they incorporated that, and they had a live band throughout, I'm pretty sure, the majority of their performances in Mamas. The dance break was everything. Absolutely loved it. Throughout their performance, I just wanted to get up and dance. I wish I was in that arena. The next performance is from a group called Alpha Drive 1. Now, they haven't officially debuted yet, and they are the latest group from Mnet's survival show, Boys Planet. I stopped watching Mnet survival shows after Produce X101. After what happened with X1. I was heartbroken, and I haven't seen a single Mnet survival show ever since because I don't want to be heartbroken again. But anyway, I am not 100% familiar with Alpha Drive 1. However, their performance is called Formula, and the intro was so intriguing because with a name like Alpha Drive 1, it sounds very futuristic and it sounds like a racing, I don't know, it just reminds me of like a racing car or something. And the video that they played was very similar to Tron, the movie. And I loved that so much. I thought that was so cool. And then in the intro of their performance, they had these red lasers, and one of the members comes out in, it looks like one of those Tron cars. They had a huge prop on stage with that. That was so epic. So then they performed their song Formula. I really loved how the theme of Tron went on throughout their entire performance. And again, I think the Tron theme works well with their group name, Alpha Drive 1. And the song also goes well with that. I love when groups and artists, they have a solid concept and they deliver on that concept. I love it when they put effort into their concepts. So overall, Alpha Drive 1 was a pleasant surprise. I didn't know what to expect, but I am looking forward to their debut. I can't wait to see what type of music videos they'll release. I'm hoping that they will continue with this whole Tron futuristic concept in their music and albums and whatnot. And I really, really enjoyed their performance. I was a little bit confused with this next award, and it's called Favorite Global Artist, which it's different from Fans Choice and Artist of the Year. I don't know. I was kind of confused by that. But anyway, the award went to Enhypen. So that's already 2 awards for them in the for the night. And again, I was so happy for them. And then favorite female group went to IVE. I was really happy for this because I think they have just been really phenomenal this year, in my opinion. So seeing them get recognized for that, especially their hard work this year, it made me happy. All right, the next performance was from BABYMONSTER. I'm gonna be honest, I am not 100% familiar with BABYMONSTER's music. So they performed their song We Go Up Mama version, and then they performed Drip Mama version. Drip was such a fun song. I think the members did a really great job in performing it. The song is very catchy, and I think it was a perfect song to perform for an award show. So next up, one of the awards that everyone always looks forward to the most, and it is, well, one of, okay, there's a lot of awards that people are looking forward to. This is one of them, and it is Best New Artist. Now, there has been a lot of chatter on who's going to get it, who should get it, who might not get it, who will get it. So it went to CORTIS and Hearts2Hearts. I don't really listen to CORTIS or Hearts2Hearts music. However, there's no denying that they're a very talented group and a lot of people have been loving their music. And I love that groups with 2 very different sounds won this award because it just shows that there's a wide range of music, genres, and concepts that people gravitate towards. You know, there's always something for someone in K-pop, and seeing these groups take these awards, it did make me happy. They debuted this year, and I think they have a very promising future ahead of them, and I can't wait to see how these groups, they will grow as performers and artists. The next performance was another one that kind of took me by surprise. So Park Bo-gum, he comes out and he says, okay, we're gonna present the very first Mnet Movie Awards. And I was a little confused. I was like, oh, so there's gonna be 2 award show in one today. Okay, let's go. But actually that was the intro and the theme to BoyNextDoor's performance. And I thought that was so clever. I love how they incorporated classic movies into their performance. So their performance starts with Singing in the Rain, and I thought that was so wonderful. And then they had a little segment of Inception, and then another one of Rocky, and then another one of, I believe it's Love Actually, one of the holiday movies. After that performance segment, they yelled cut, and then everything turned black and white. And then you see crew members going around, moving some of the set pieces and props, and the members were changing. And I thought that was such a clever way to do a set change / outfit change, because it went with the concept of them being Hollywood actors and going in between scenes. That was very clever. And then they performed their song Hollywood Action, so it went very well with the overall theme. I think this was one of the most clever performances of the night. They had so much energy throughout this performance, and as a viewer, as someone who is not super familiar with BoyNextDoor's music, it was very mesmerizing to watch. Anytime that someone comes out and that they're full of passion, full of energy, and they genuinely love what they're doing, as an audience and as a viewer, you could really see that. And I overall enjoyed their performance. The next Fans Choice Female Top 10 Award went to Hearts2Hearts. And then afterwards was a solo performance from none other than TXT's Yeonjun. So I haven't talked about Yeonjun's solo music in my channel yet. I should. But anyway, he opened up with his song Comma, which is my favorite song that he released in his album recently. I thought it was so interesting. I mean, every time Yeonjun takes the stage, it's very powerful, and his stage presence is insane. I mean, I think Yeonjun is such a powerhouse performer. He gets on that stage and you can't help but just stare at him for the entire performance. Afterwards, he performed his song Talk to You. Now, one thing that really bothered me was right when it was the moment that he performed the chorus with the iconic choreography. That is the part of the song that I was looking forward to the most to seeing. However, the camera zooms out. The camera shows a wide shot of the arena and all the audience members. And it's like, yes, I'm happy that Mama's is packed. There's a lot of people. However, I want to see the choreography. I want to see that moment of the song. And I was kind of frustrated with that, like, zoom in. I want to see the performance. And then when he did the chorus again, the camera zoomed out. Why? Why? Did they not have like camera blocking before? I mean, that was just the one thing about his performance that really frustrated me, was when it came to the chorus, the camera zoomed out and I wanted to see the choreography. But anyway, Yeonjun did an amazing job. He was wearing a vest and then a jacket. And then throughout the performance, he unbuttoned the vest. And then afterwards, he took off the jacket. So the crowd went wild. And I loved hearing the crowd go wild for Yeonjun. Yes, deserved. But overall, his performance was absolutely powerful. He's a powerhouse performer. His stage presence is on another level. The next award was Global Trend Song, and it went to IVE's Rebel Hearts. Next up, none other than Treasure. Now, if you know one thing about Treasure, you are guaranteed to have a party, energetic, passion-filled performance. Every time Treasure is on stage, especially during award shows, it's gonna be a treat. They performed Free. Afterwards, they performed Paradise Remix version. I love Paradise, and I think this remix version was so fun. And I love that the members have a lot of joy performing the song. And as a viewer, it just makes me so happy. And I like how you could see the versatility in Treasure, how they could do really strong hip hop rap music, but then they could do something fun and bright like Paradise. It really shows their range. And then afterwards, they performed their song, I Want Your Love, band version. And it's like the party continued with that song. I think performing Paradise and then I Want Your Love, it was so perfect. And again, the party vibes. With Treasure, you could always guarantee they will put on a show and it will be fun. All right, so the next award was Favorite Male Group, and it went to BoyNextDoor. Now, this took a lot of people by surprise, at least from the feedback that I read online from some people. And I think when it comes to award shows, a lot of people expect the top 10 most popular groups to take home these awards, or the groups that they've won these awards in the past to continue winning them. But it's nice to see a different group take home an award, a group that no one was expecting. And I'm just really happy for them. So the next performance was from I-dle. When they take on the stage, they are another powerhouse group. They have their own signature sound and signature style that I don't think anybody could replicate, because they have such a strong group identity. And I love how they command the stage, every single member. And then they performed Good Thing Mama version. And I love how they are just so unapologetically themselves. They don't follow trends. They do what works best for them. And I love when groups do that. And I-dle is one of those groups, and they're very confident in the music and concepts that they do. And I love that. All right, next up, the moment I was waiting for, Super Junior's performance in Mama's. They are celebrating their 20th anniversary. I was expecting something huge, grand. It's their 20th anniversary. I want them to go big, right? I want them to have all the confetti, all the dancers, all the props, everything, right? I want them to perform a mix of all their songs, or not all their songs because of, time restriction, but at least a couple of their hits, but at the same time, a couple of their hidden gems. However, they only performed 4 songs. 4 songs, and 3 of those songs are songs that they released years ago. And the thing with Super Junior, and I've noticed a lot of ELFs, they understand me, and I'm pretty sure they'll agree with me, but Super Junior has such a wide discography. And the fact that the majority of the time when they're invited to perform in places other than their super shows, they only perform their hits from the past, like Mr. Simple, Sorry. I think a lot of people that are not familiar with Super Junior, they'll just automatically assume that that's how all of Super Junior's songs sound like. But no, those type of songs are literally like only 1 or 2% of their discography. They have songs that are so different. And like, I don't want people to assume that this is the only type of music that Super Junior can do. But I understand they'll perform their hits. I get it. And it's like that with every group and artist. I understand that. But anyway, I like that their performance was called Super Junior Assemble. And I was hoping that they were going to perform Superman, just given the theme and concept, Super Junior, the last man standing. But no, they didn't do that. It's like, okay, very well. But they started their performance with Express Mode, so I was happy that they did include their most recent song. And then they performed Mr. Simple, and throughout this performance, their mics were on. You could hear their breathing, and you could even hear their clothes. Like when they move, their movements, you could hear all that in the mic. And that's something that I realized that other groups I didn't hear, at least not as prominent as with Super Junior. But anyway, all the members were fantastic. Their outfits were spot on, especially Eunhyuk. I loved his outfit, and Leetak and Heechul with the fur jackets. And then during Mr. Simple, Donghae with the sunglasses. I just love Donghae's charisma. I love when they perform on stage. It's such a treat. And then they performed Bonamana. The energy that they have is insane. Super Junior, this is their 20th year doing this, performing. 20 years, okay? They didn't debut last year. They didn't debut 5 years ago. They didn't debut 10 years ago. They debuted 20 years. And the fact that they are still performing with so much energy and they go all out, props to them. Props to them. And I wish a lot of groups and artists could see Super Junior and be, dang, I have debuted, I have been an artist for this many years, but seeing how these senior groups are still giving it their all, I should be giving 200% of my effort in my performances. And I think that goes with just anyone in any career. I mean, that's something that I take away from Super Junior is that they've been doing this for 20 years and they still show up. They're still passionate. They're still putting their all. And to me, I want to implement that work ethic in my life. So then they perform Sorry Sorry. It's a classic. Everyone knows it. Everyone loves it. Everyone knows the choreography. So in the end of Sorry Sorry, when Heechul yells, Super Junior, I was hoping that it would transition to Don't Dawn. You know? Like, dun-na-na-na. Dun-na-dun-dun-na. I was looking forward to that. I was like, ooh, Heechul screams Super Junior. Let's go, Don't Dawn. But no, they didn't. Overall, their performance was definitely award show worthy. I love how they had so many dancers and the performance felt grand and epic. However, it was too short. 4 songs to celebrate 20 years. I mean, they should have given them at least some time to perform at least like 6 songs, 7. And I wish they would have done a mashup of their songs so they could fit in more songs. You know, I think they could have made Mr. Simple, Bonamana, and Sorry Sorry mashed up into one song, and then to give space for them to perform some of their classics like Don't Dawn, You, Miracle, but then some of their other songs like Otra Vez, Lo Siento, Mango, Shadow, Crown, Superman. Listen, Shadow is one of my favorite B-sides. It's underappreciated. House Party. I mean, there's so many songs. Devil, Black Suit. They could have just mashed up all the songs and just made one huge Super Junior medley. But I mean, it just shows I have to go to a super show. So the next Fans' Choice Awards was Male Top 10. And it went to Zero Base One. And then right after they had the Fans' Choice Female Top 10 and it went to aespa. So after that, IVE had their performance. So, like I mentioned before, Rebel Hearts and XOXZ, they are some of my favorite songs of this year. And so the performance starts with Wonyoung and she's lying in a bed with like roses and flowers. And then there's dancers with like these hands that are painted black with long nails and feathers. To me, it seems like Wonyoung was living in a nightmare or under a curse, kind of like Sleeping Beauty or Snow White. It gave me those vibes. The first song that they performed was XOXZ, and it was a creepy nightmare version of the song. I loved this remix. I want them to release it in official music streaming platforms. The concept was definitely like nightmare / curse because there was a lot of roses, like black roses involved, and the members were kind of like in a cage of some sort. And then on the screens, you see like thorns. After XOXZ, Wonyoung sort of has a dagger and then she breaks the floor. And then suddenly color returns and the flowers are blooming again and everything is sort of restored. Like to me, it represented like Wonyoung broke that curse. And then they performed Rebel Hearts. I love that song, and I also love how the members were styled. I thought it went really well with the performance. And then in the end, the confetti were feathers, which it went really well with their concept, so I thought that was very unique. The next Fans Choice Female Top 10 went to I-dle, and then after that, they had the special Inspiring Achievement Award, and they had Xion from NCT WISH and Hanbin from Zero Base One present this award to Super Junior. And I thought that was so sweet because Hanbin and Xion, they represent this new generation of K-pop and how they are giving this achievement award to Super Junior. It felt so special. And they played a video package kind of introducing Super Junior, and I loved how they described Super Junior. It said, era-defining anthems, a wave of impact, super record, #1, building their legacy, super idol, super shows. So they had like a little very quick montage of all their super shows. By the way, if you guys don't know, Super Junior Super Show, that's what they call their concert/tours. So they don't say like, oh, Super Junior World Tour. They say Super Junior Super Show. Also, beloved star across generation, a genuine idol beyond time. I thought how they described it, Super Junior, was so sweet. And I love how in Mamas they recognized Super Junior and their 20 years of being in this industry. So during their speech, Lee Tuk mentioned that this year in Mamas, the performers, none of them were born in the 90s, just like Super Junior, how none of the members were born in the 90s, and it's a miracle. That was really funny. However, I have to fact check him on that. There were some idols that were born in the 90s performing. Yeonjun from TXT, he was born in the 90s. And all the members from I-dle were born in the 90s except for Shua. But I mean, to be fair, I think they announced I-dle and Yeonjun performing in Mamas later. The next performance of the night gave me chills. It was Enhypen. So it starts off with Sunghoon and he's ascending from above, and you hear the choir, the voices, and then the organ playing. It felt so majestic. And that's something with Enhypen that I love, is that they have a strong concept and they stick to it. Okay, their whole concept is vampires, and the fact that they've stuck with that concept, they just do such a great job with it in terms of music video performances, their award show performances, even how they're styled. It is done so well. So then they performed No Doubt, and it was a remixed version. It felt more epic and again, like majestic. I don't know if that's the right word for it. And then there was a transition with Jay, and then the members wearing the hats. Loved it. And then the dance break. Oh my gosh. I wish, can we give Enhypen an award for this performance alone? It was so good. That dance break, oh my gosh, between songs, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Please check out Enhypen's performance. If you guys happen, whether you're a fan of Enhypen or not, watch it. They performed Bad Desire rock version. And again, these remixes elevated the songs to sound even more grand. Every single member delivered. I mean, and this was definitely a show-stopping performance from start to finish. So the next two awards were 2 out of the 4 of the most coveted awards, which is Song of the Year and Fans Choice of the Year. So the Song of the Year went to Apata from RIIZE and Bruno Mars. And at first I was a little confused because I'm like, wait, the song came out last year and they performed Apata in Mama's last year. But I realized, I think the song came out after the deadline to be nominated for a Mama's award. When Apata first was released, I loved it. I know people either love the song or they hate the song. I was on the side of loving it. I love how catchy it was, how fun it was. However, I have overplayed that song so much that now I don't listen to it. Unless it's like on the radio, but I think I've just overplayed the song. However, Like Jenny by Jenny was also nominated. And if I could give this award to 2 songs, yes, Apata deserved it, but I would have also given it to Like Jenny. Listen, Blackpink, the member solo music has been amazing. So next up was Fans Choice of the Year, and it went to Enhypen. I was really happy that Enhypen is being recognized for their hard work this year. So the rest of the Fans Choice Awards, they announced it after the award show, sort of like as a slideshow. And I think it's because the groups that won these awards, they weren't present in Mamas. Otherwise, they probably would have just announced it during the award show. But anyway, so the winners for the fans' choice was Baekhyun, 17, Irene from Red Velvet, IU, I-dle, Jin, G-Dragon, ITZY, J-Hope, LE SSERAFIM, NCT Dream, and TWICE. Congratulations to them, and congratulations to all the groups and artists that won a MAMA award this year. I understand that there were a lot of groups and artists that they were not nominated, and I understand how frustrating and heartbreaking it is, especially if you have a favorite group or artist that they weren't nominated, or that they were nominated but they didn't win. I understand how frustrating and heartbreaking that is, because you do want your faves to be recognized for their hard work and for their art. But I do believe that one day their time will come. And that's why it's important to continue promoting and talking about your faves. Overall, day one of Mama's 2025, I thought it went really well, especially given the situation going on in Hong Kong. And I look forward to day two. So I did post a poll on my channel asking you guys, what are you looking forward to for Mama's? And 7% said the winners, finding out who won the awards. 7% said nothing. 34% said interactions/reactions. And 52% of you said the performances. And that is so true, because I think whoever wins or loses or is nominated or not nominated, it can be frustrating during award shows. So the one thing that I think everyone can look forward to are the performances. I will say something about this Mama's that I didn't like was the lack of interactions/reactions from the idols, from the groups and artists. We've seen in years past the interaction between groups, their reactions when another group is performing. I loved that. I think that was something that made everyone look forward to these award shows. However, this year there was hardly any. It reminded me of 2020. You know how 2020, no one was able to like interact with anyone? Yeah, that's how I kind of felt. Even though they're all in the same building, they're all sitting very close to each other. Even in the collab stages, there were hardly any interactions between the groups. I mean, other than maybe like the dance break together, there was hardly any interactions. And if there were interactions between groups and artists, it was very minimal, at least from what I saw online. And I know that a lot of these groups and artists, they are friends in real life. One day, someday, I want to see more collabs with groups. I want to see more interactions, more reactions. I want to see all that. But yeah, let me know. What are your thoughts on Mama's 2025 day one? And with all that being said, I hope you all have an amazing day, and I will talk to you all next time. Bye.